thank you so much for joining me today. I am so very excited to have you here. Welcome to my kitchen. This is my kitchen. This is where I cook all of my things. This is where I get all of our food made. And today, since we're in the kitchen, we're gonna be making something. Hold up. I'm gonna swap my mics. I think I'm gonna need a little something for this one. Just a moment. All right, I'm back. I got my little mini mic. I did end up getting these for Nick a while ago because he was gonna be doing a bunch of outdoor camping videos and stuff like that, but he ended up not doing any of that. Now he's back at work, which love him for that. Thank you. Everybody spam thank you Nick in the comments so that way I can be home doing this. Figured I'm gonna try this because I'm gonna be walking all over the kitchen. It might sound a little bit weird. It sounds a little bit weird on the camera. We'll see what happens with it though in the end. Hi, I'm editing this right now and I actually just realized that I never introed the video at all. I literally just jumped right into what I was gonna do and I never actually told you what we were doing. So I figured I'd go ahead and let you know. We are recreating recipes that I found in the back of the books just to see if those recipes are worth making or not. I've read a lot of books that have recipes in them and for the longest time I've actually wanted to make them and see what I thought of them. So that's what we were doing in this video that you are about to finish watching. These are all just the recipes that I have found in the books that I decided to go ahead and make, and then I'm going to give them a rating at the end. So sorry about that. I don't know why I didn't tell you, but yeah, now you know. Okay, enjoy. But today we are going to be starting off with Graveyard Shift. There were a couple cocktail recipes in this that I wanted to try. I say wanted to try very loosely. I'm not a big drinker. I don't drink a lot of alcohol at all. So for this one, it was really just which one has the least amount of alcohol that I have to purchase. And I settled on Honeydew or Die. So the ingredients in this one is an ounce of absinthe, 1 ounce of white grape juice, squeeze of lime juice, and 2 ounces of ginger beer. Now I will say, for this one, I was not able to find absinthe. I take that back, correction. I was able to find absinthe at $77 a bottle. We just talked about it, we just discussed. I don't drink, very rarely do I drink, and I do not drink at my house. So me buying a whole bottle of absinthe for almost $100 when I'm just making it for one drink, I need 1 ounce, not gonna happen. I called everywhere, I tried to find the little mini bottles, could not find them, and then I also could not get it shipped to my house. So I did my best. This one's going to be a non-alcoholic version of the Honeydew or Die without the alcohol. I'm sorry, I know that's probably going to ruin the entire drink, but again, I could not justify almost $100 for a bottle of alcohol. Sorry, and especially one that was like 136 proof. Nick was like, I wouldn't even let you get that. There's that. Anyways, I'm gonna get my ingredients out really quick and we'll get started on this. So that way I have a little drinky drink to sip on if I like it while we're cooking everything else. So I got my ingredients. The ginger beer actually says that it needs to be upside down. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but there is like stuff in there. I don't know if you can see it. But it's like, I don't want to say mother, but it kind of reminds me of the mother in apple cider vinegar. So keep that upside down here for just a second. I'm gonna get my glass with ice and then we should be ready to go. All right, so here we are here. We got all of our ingredients. Just go ahead and open the grape juice. Here we go, okay. Perfect. One thing about me that I've not gotten to express to you or show you ever is that I don't ever follow recipes at all. I really just wing everything. So that's what we're gonna do today. So it says 1 ounce of white grape juice. I don't know how much an ounce is, but we're just gonna pretend like it's that. So we got that. Lime juice, and a little roll. If you don't know, if you do that, it's supposed to just help get all the juice out. I don't know if it works. I feel like it's nice, but I'm not using a cutting board because I'm not going to cut it onto my counter. I don't want to dirty up a cutting board just for that. Got my lime juice. I'm going to use the smaller of the two. It says 1 ounce of lime juice, but again, not gonna worry about that. Basically just gonna use as much as I can squeeze in here. Now I'll tell you what, these limes from Sam's have been fantastic, really juicy. Hopefully that won't really affect the taste that much. Go ahead and put this in the trash can, try to be nice and keep everything clean. Then we have the ginger beer again. We already held it upside down and all that. I'm gonna go ahead and just stir this up. And it says to top off with ginger beer, so I don't know if I'm gonna stir that in or not. These are actually really neat to open. We just got these from Kroger. I just needed one. I told Nick to get whatever he wanted. and he likes ginger beer. I actually have not opened one of these myself. Oh, nuts. Clearly I have not opened one myself. It says to just top off with our ginger beer. Okay, and there we are. That's our nice little drinky drink. I'm actually going to stir it a little bit just because I don't want it not stirred, but not too much. That way it is slightly topped off. Yes, I know I made a mess. I also do that very frequently in my kitchen, so apologies. I'll try this. It's definitely not bad. I'm not a ginger person, so I did not think that I was really going to enjoy the ginger beer. Nick picked the ginger beer out. I told him to just get me one, or if he wanted to drink the rest of them, then he was more than welcome to just get whatever he wanted. He ended up getting this one. So they're Bundaberg ginger beer, an Australian, looks like Australian company, whatever. So he picked these out. I just needed the one, obviously. I don't know, I don't hate this. I think that he might like this. I'm definitely not mad about that. I don't taste the grape juice at all. But hey, I'll give a rating at the end. We'll do like a little rating like we do book ratings, but for right now, I'm enjoying it. I think it's pretty good. Will I enjoy it later on? Will I want to make another one with the other lime that I have here? Who knows? We'll see. I do have some more ginger beer left of my little container. Well, I'll see what I think. All my stuff washed and dried, put that up, and then we are going to move on to the next recipe. I have two other things that we're going to be making from two separate books. And fun fact, those books I had on my shelf. I did have both of them physically. So all three of them I had physically. I completely forgot that those were the books that had the recipes in them, and I got rid of them. I put them in little free libraries. So I texted my mom the other day because I put them in my parents' neighborhood. And I asked if she could go swing by and see if they were still there and if she could just grab them out for me really quick so that I could use them for this video. And then she could put them back, or I could put them back later. Lo and behold, she said that somebody already took them. So I hope whoever got them, I hope that they are really enjoying them. And I hope that maybe they get some use out of the recipes as well. I'm gonna finish getting cleaned up over here. It's really just gonna take a couple minutes, and then I'm gonna get the ingredients out for the second recipe, and then we will get started on that. I ended up borrowing Nick's camera that I also got him because I need two camera angles. I cannot film both. You can't see me and see the cooking. So that's what we're doing right now. But I got out all of my ingredients for this. So let me pull the recipe back up here. So for this recipe, we are going to be pulling it from Where the Crawdads Sing. Like I said, I got rid of my copy. Fun fact, I actually went to Barnes & Noble the other day with Nick, and I found the book there, and I pulled it, took a photo of the recipe. So I do have it now. 2 cups of corn. I got 2 cans just in case. I don't really know how much we're gonna need, but I got that. Cornmeal, I have my baking powder, I have my egg, I have a bowl just to mix everything in, and then I also have, it called for buttermilk or water. I did not have buttermilk, but I tend to just make my own buttermilk anyways. So literally I just put whatever it called for, milk, and then a splash of vinegar in there. So I do have that ready to go. And then I have my cast iron over here. It's not preheating right now, but I have cast iron, and then I'm gonna use canola oil. I usually use avocado oil whenever I'm frying anything. Very rarely do I do that, but I usually use my avocado oil, but I don't want to use all of it, so I do have canola oil, and then I have an extra in the pantry just in case if I need that. It did call for fresh corn. I did not get fresh corn. I did not do that. So canned corn it is. I guess we'll go ahead and start with just the one corn for right now, just to make sure that opens. Ooh, this is really noisy and squeaky. Well, that sucks, doesn't it? This can opener really is not that great. Well, nuts. Okay, then I'm going to just pour the juice down the drain because I don't need that. Okay. It doesn't say anything about how to mix this or put it in the bowl, so I'm just assuming that we're gonna just throw it in the bowl and mix it all together and then do that. So We'll see. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the stove on. Just turn it on to 4, and then I'm gonna throw a little bit of oil in the pan. Not all of it, but I just want to kind of like make sure that that's coated nice, at least a little bit while it's heating up. I feel like it's a little dry looking. And then I need 2 cups of corn. Okay, so that's gonna be good for 1 cup. And then it's not quite 2 cups, but maybe it'll do. All right, we have our corn, have my buttermilk. That better be good. That's all I gotta say. Then I need 1 fresh egg. That was actually a seamless egg. I don't normally do that. And then I have to wipe off my fingers after I do that because I have to. 1 cup of Martha White cornmeal. I did not get Martha White cornmeal. I got yellow cornmeal, so that's just gonna have to do. Isn't this just lovely to open? Get my corn juice off of here. Honestly, I think I'm gonna use a smaller cup. I'll go ahead and just keep that dry for now, but I don't want to use a big measuring cup because it's gonna be hard to get out. We'll do a 1/3. One, 2, 3. Okay, we got that done. Really just me baking anything, cooking anything consists of just rinsing everything that I possibly can off so I don't have to do that many dishes because I hate dishes. And then we need baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking powder. All right, we're done with that. Let me mix. Just gonna use a little tiny spatula for that. It said that the batter was supposed to be quite liquidy. I don't know if I would say that this is quite liquidy. I mean, it kind of is, but it's not really like the consistency that I would assume they would be talking about. I mean, you can kind of see it's not like the greatest. I don't know. Does it need salt and pepper? I feel like it does, but hey, what do I know? I've never made this before. I don't even know what I'm doing. All right, I would say that that is just about good. And then for the recipe, it says to heat a 1/4 inch of oil in a shallow skillet. Go ahead and put the oil in now. Honestly, I think that that's gonna be good. I don't really want to use that much. Usually anytime I fry things, I fry it pretty shallow anyways, so should be fine. Now we're just gonna heat that up. Let it heat up. And then I'm going to, I guess, toss this in here once I'm done. Here is my consistency. You can see it's not like the greatest, but hey, it's as good as I got. Drop a large spoon of batter into oil and cook until the lacy edges begin to brown. To prevent the batter from sticking, the temperature must be adjusted. I don't know. I just don't know. I guess I'll go ahead and prep my plate a little bit. So I'll stick this over here and then I'm just gonna have my plate. And then since we are frying things, I'm just gonna stick a little paper towel on the plate, just that way it catches up all the extra grease. And then I guess I'm gonna put things away and then wait for this to heat up a little bit and then we'll drop them in. You can see my little camera over here that I've got. This feels pretty hot. I'm actually really scared, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not someone that, I don't dislike cooking at all, but I don't like cooking with oil that much just because I don't like it splattering, and I get so scared that something's gonna happen and I'm gonna somehow start a fire. So I'm not gonna lie, I am very nervous, but I do have everything as ready to go as I feel like it is going to be. So we're gonna start off with just a little tiny. I don't know. We'll start off with 2. We'll do 2. Oh, this is so scary. Okay. This honestly is making a lot more than I thought it was going to. Or at least it's going to, but I need to change the battery on here. So I'll probably just keep you updated on little guy over here. Might do a little time lapse of me making these things and we'll try them together. But now that I've got it in there, I'm not that nervous. I think I'm gonna be just fine. I've officially finished up my corn fritters. I think they look pretty good, if I do say so myself. Are they gonna taste good? I don't know. I would assume that it's just gonna taste like a hush puppy. That's my bet, but I'm not certain. I'm not gonna lie, the last couple that I did popped all over the place, so I do have corn and oil all over the stove, which sucks, but I mean, hey, that's just what you get whenever you start frying things. That's why I don't really care to fry, but I'm doing it for y'all. I honestly think I'm gonna go sit outside for a second. I think the smell of this is giving me a headache. I just need a little bit of fresh air, a little bit of water, and just sit and play on my phone for like 10 minutes. So I'm gonna go do that and let these cool off just a bit. I'm gonna kick the fan back on and then hang out outside for just a second. We're gonna eat them in just a minute. I know you don't wanna wait, but I need a break. All right, I stepped outside for like all of 5 minutes and it is very chilly outside, so I'm back in, feel a little bit better. My head's not as aggressively throbbing as it was, so it's time to try our corn fritters. At least I believe that's what they're called, I'm not certain, but this is how they look. I'm actually very pleased with them. I was very nervous that they were not gonna turn out great, but honestly, I think according to what the recipe said it was supposed to look like, I think I nailed it. I'm gonna start off with this little small guy. This is how it looks. Make sure it's like cooked fully on the inside. Again, I'm pretty convinced this is just gonna taste like a little hush puppy, but we'll see. I really don't care for it that much. I really assumed that they were going to be sweet. I think that's what I was expecting, whether it be sweet from the corn or just sweet from the batter itself. I don't think that the corn was very sweet just because I got it out of a can, so I didn't get sweet corn. Maybe I did, I don't know. I guess the cornmeal is not that sweet either, so just putting it all together, they really just don't taste like anything. They are just really gritty. I was gonna say like cornbread, but not even. Cornbread's a lot sweeter. It's like hard, thin cornbread, I guess, if it wasn't sweet. I'm not really mad, but the fact that I spent a long time on it is kind of frustrating for them to not be that great. I mean, they look good. Again, they look like I did what I was supposed to, but I don't know, just definitely not my favorite. I think I wish I would not have spent so much time on it. I wish I would have just made like a couple, but hey, you live and you learn. Maybe I can bring them to Thanksgiving tomorrow. Would absolutely not make again. I'll say that. Oh well. We are back again, and for this recipe we are now following Before I Let Go. This one has a recipe for a limoncello pound cake in the back of it, so that's what we're going to be making today. This one I actually got my proper limoncello alcohol for that. I was able to get that from the store for not almost $100. It said to use like a bundt cake pan for this, and I actually just got rid of mine because I've never used it. So I don't have that anymore, unfortunately, but that's okay. Do what we can. Also, I know this calls for lemons. I'm not using the lemons. I do not have a grater or zester, anything of the sorts to be able to get lemon zest, so I just decided to do without it. That's just gonna have to be okay. Preheat to 350, so get that going on. So we're gonna mix flour, baking powder, soda, and salt. So let's get going on this. So we got 2 cups of flour. I'll go ahead and use the big cup. A lot of times whenever I'm making stuff or baking with flour, I don't use the actual like measuring cup that I'm supposed to. I'd use a smaller one, just that way I can actually get it in there. But I have plenty of room this time. So we got 1 cup. And 2. So we got that, and then they said the powder and the soda. So we got this. Calls for half a teaspoon of soda and 1 teaspoon of powder. So I got my teaspoon. So we got powder. We'll just go in and do 1 teaspoon there. It's got baking soda. Perfect. It calls for a little bit of salt. I'm not gonna put the salt in there because it also calls for 1.5 cups of butter. I'm not gonna lie, that's actually really scary to me. That's so much, that's 3 sticks of butter. That's a lot. My butter is salted. I don't get unsalted butter, so I'm not putting salt in here because there's so much salt in the butter. I don't want it to be too salty, which it probably is going to be already. Separate bowl. I hate doing this. I hate doing things in a separate bowl. That drives me nuts, but if we must. Beat the butter and sugar on medium speed until light and fluffy. Lovely. I just got my butter out because I didn't know it called for 3 sticks. Usually it calls for just 1 and I can just toss it in there, but I didn't do that. I just keep 1 stick on the counter, so now I've got 2 that I gotta figure out. Let me double check. I have to just think this through. 1.5 cups. So this is 1, and then a half cup is a third. That's crazy. That is so much butter. Oh my gosh. Anyways, whatever. So just toss these in the microwave for a minute. Don't do this at home if you're actually following this and you're not doing it along with me, which I doubt you are. Just get your butter out. Don't do this. I'm literally just gonna check that like every couple minutes. Not minutes, couple seconds. Like every 10 seconds. Because again, we do not want it melted, we want it soft. I'm just gonna use my KitchenAid beaters to kind of mix this and make sure that it is soft, because I do not want to dirty up another spoon. And I'm gonna use these to mix here in a second anyways, so. Oop. Do another 10 seconds or so-ish. Yeah, that's pretty soft. Okay. I'm content with that, that's good. I don't know. I don't know why I didn't just mix it in that bowl. It's fine. It really is okay. That was so stupid of me. Oh, I was gonna say I can't believe I did that, but I so can believe that. And sugar, which would be 1 1/4 cup. Okay, so we'll just do this. 1. 2. 3, 4, and a 4th. Perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and get my other beater, and then I'm just going to mix this until it's light and fluffy. And then now that that is all incorporated, I'll turn it up a little bit. Just don't want the sugar flying everywhere. All right, so now that that got literally everywhere, to clean that up. Here we go, butter mixed. Just gonna do one at a time. Just plug back in and go to town again. Scrape this down to the bottom so it's not as aggressive. All right, we're about to swap this up. I have it all over my shirt, and I don't want it all over my shirt. I guess I already threw my napkin away. Good on me. And I do this thing where I don't look at the full recipe before I start. That's my problem, but I am supposed to add the flour into this, and I literally can't. We are going to move everything over into the KitchenAid, and we're gonna use that, because that's easier. Learn from my mistakes, don't do as I do, because chances are it will be wrong, per usual. So, get all of this scooped in there. We will try this again, and I got it on my hand again. And I bet you I threw away my napkin. I bet you I did that. I threw away my napkin. All right, so I got everything swapped over to here. So, hopefully this works out a little bit better. I think it's gonna be far better. It said to add about 1/3 of the mixture. I don't know if that's 1/3, but I did my best. Now it says to add 1/2 cup of the sour cream, so I'm assuming that it's just a 1/2 of a cup, and then the rest of it we'll put it in later. That looks like a better consistency, by a lot. We couldn't have done any harder to do that. That's ridiculous. Okay, so it's literally just do some of the flour, some of the sour cream, and then mix it, do it again. So I really didn't need to do that, but whatever. We'll do another 1/2 cup of sour cream. I literally cannot stand when recipes are like, oh, mix this separately and then take forever and then do this and then do it again and then now do it again. Like, just let me pour the whole thing in. But hey, I didn't cultivate the recipe, so whatever. I don't know the science behind baking, so I don't know what all of it's super necessary and what's not. I find it so comical that I'm this bad at following instructions. It actually said to end with the flour, so flour is like the last thing that you want to put in here. And here I am with the sour cream. But oh well, oh well, oh well. I'm not gonna die. Nobody's gonna die. All will be fine. Hopefully all will be fine. All right, so I'm just going to give that a slight fold just to make sure that all of the ingredients on the sides are gonna be incorporated. I'll go back in and do another scoop of that, but for right now, I'll just do a little bit. And of course I got that on the side. And of course I did that. Fun fact, I'm actually the messiest baker, I feel like, ever, as you can tell. All right, and then lastly, we have to add a 4th cup of our limoncello. I think this is so funny. It looks like a little mosquito or something. Just hilarious. Honestly, I could have used this in replacement of the absinthe in my other drink, but good grief. I need like pliers to get that open, my goodness. This is literally corked. I feel like I'm gonna break it. It smells pretty good. So it calls for a 1/4 of a cup of this. While that's finishing up mixing, I'm gonna go ahead and prep whatever pan I plan to put it in. I'm not sure yet. I'm thinking either a bread pan or just a casserole pan. I feel like a bread pan would be prettier, but I don't know what I want to do. That's probably good. I don't ever mix it. I'm trying to see if there's an alternative. What is the best pan to make pound cake in? I don't know. Everybody's saying that you need to use multiple pans. I do have plenty of like loaf pans, so I'll probably just do that. Guess let's get to buttering them. I'm not gonna lie, I'm just thinking about cleaning all this up and I don't want to do that. This is gonna suck, and I have to cook tonight. It's 2:46 though, so I got time. All right, so I got all of my cake tins right here, loaf tins, whatever. I think that I'm going to use both of the glass ones for Thanksgiving, and then I'm gonna use the aluminum one for just myself to try, just because I was prepping on having to slice a bit off for myself to taste it. But I do want to make sure everybody gets some. Everybody on Facebook said that we need to split this up into 3 different loaf pans, just since it's a dense cake, it's not going to fully cook in the center. So gonna have to split it up a little bit, unfortunately, but it is what it is. I feel like I so just should have had Nick pick something up from his way home from work, because this is gonna be not so fun to have to cook after this. But oh well. So they said to fill it about 2/3 of the way, something like that. I'm just gonna kind of eyeball it, see what looks right. Then I'm just gonna try to smooth these out a little bit. That way they look a little bit nicer, a little bit more put together. Now we just put them in the oven for like 30 minutes, and then we're going to flip them around, put them in for another 25 minutes, something like that. And then once they are finished, once they're out of the oven and then they're cooling, that's whenever we're gonna make the glaze for them. I'm going to clean up this monstrosity, and then I did not get powdered sugar from the store the other day, so I'm gonna have to make up a batch of powdered sugar really quick. If you didn't know, you could just use regular granulated sugar, and then you put that in like a blender. I use the NutriBullet or whatever works best for you, but grind the sugar up and then it'll turn into powdered sugar. I do have a little bit left, but I'm making some cinnamon honey butter tomorrow, and I do not want to have gritty honey butter. I would rather have a little bit of a gritty glaze since it's going on cake, and it's not expected to be super smooth. It's gonna be like a glaze, obviously. So I'm gonna go ahead and whip up a little bit more powdered sugar, just that way I do have enough, because I think I need 2 cups if I'm not mistaken. A cup. So I need a cup of powdered sugar. So I'm gonna go ahead and whip that up while I'm letting this cook. I'm actually gonna turn the timer on. That's what I'm gonna do. Turn the timer on now. It says to put the timer on for 30 minutes, but I feel like our oven cooks really fast or really hot, one of the two. So I just put it on for 25. I'll probably check up on it here in a little bit just to make sure that the sides are okay, because I didn't use 110. Obviously it's not gonna be as close to the center as it normally would. So I do wanna make sure that's not burning, the end ones aren't burning, and then I'm rotating them properly. So keep an eye on that. I'm gonna check on it periodically just to make sure it still looks good, but I'm gonna get everything cleaned up, get my sugar prepped, and then get everything ready to make the glaze. Like I said, I'm not gonna make it until a little bit later just because I don't wanna have it pre-made. And it gets really hard if you make it too early. So that's my plan. I will be back here in a little while. All right, time for the icing, drizzle, glaze, whatever. I'm just going to mix the powdered sugar and the limoncello together in this little bowl. I think I'm gonna do a little bit more than what it calls for, just that way I have enough for everything, because I don't want to run out. See how this turned out. I'm actually a little nervous. Oh, goodness gracious. I can't get this open. Okay, it's twisting, it's moving a little bit. Good grief. Holy moly. Okay, so I am seeing a little bit of glistening, so there are still some pretty good sized crystals in there. It is what it is. I'm not that mad about it, but I wish it would have done that, but I can't change anything. Okay, I'm just gonna do that much right now. Then I'll do 2 more spoonfuls, just so that way it kind of is the same as if I were to get it all the way to the top. We'll do 1 extra. And then now it calls for, I don't know what it calls for. I think it's like 2 tablespoons. Yes, 2 tablespoons. It's gonna be a pain in the butt to pour. Right. This equally says to use some lemon zest. I do not have that. Remember, we talked about this. So, sorry, working with what we got. Just give this a little mix. This is not a drizzle. This is not a glaze. This is turning into a dough. So I'm gonna put a little bit more of the limoncello in it. I'll do another tablespoon because I can always add more powdered sugar. It's still a little thick. I do want it to be like a glaze consistency. I'm just gonna do a dollop. See where that gets me. Okay, I think that's a little bit better. Still not enough though. Watch, I like end up accidentally ruining it. But again, a little powdered sugar will be just fine in it if need be. Yeah, that's the consistency that we're wanting. That little drizzle right there. Perfect. All right, so now we are just going to drizzle this onto the cakes. Now I'm just going to smooth it out. Let me get a knife and then we'll try a little bite, see what we think. I don't know if I've ever made pound cake before. And it looks really dense. We'll see what I think. I think the cake itself is really good. It's really moist. I don't know if it's supposed to be really moist like that, but it is. Try to Show you a little bit. It kind of looks like a blondie or something. The cake itself is really good. I really like it. I don't really care for the glaze. I think just a regular glaze would have been so much better because it tastes like alcohol, so you can like very much taste the alcohol in the glaze. It doesn't really just taste like lemon. I don't know. It's not bad by any means, but again, I just wish I did the glaze different. I really do have mixed feelings with that. I think on one hand it's really good. On the other hand, whenever you do get a really big glop of the frosting, it's definitely a bit much, and I don't like that. I think it's a little overkill, but overall, I really like it. So we tried a honeydew or die, I think it's what it's called, cocktail, mocktail, I guess. I did not get the alcohol for that one. We know that. We tried the corn fritters, and then we also made the limoncello pound cake. I would say for the drink, we'll do this like book style, so we'll do out of 5. I would say that the mocktail was about a 3 out of 5. I think if I got the actual alcohol for the drink, it definitely would have tasted a lot different. I'm not mad that I did not get it. I'm not mad that I did not spend $70 on it. I'm a-okay with that fact, actually. It was still really good for what it was. I enjoyed it. But I don't think that it was that different of a flavor just from the ginger beer itself. I think I would have been a-okay just drinking the ginger beer alone and still kind of got the same out of it. I don't think it changed that much, and I also don't think that the white grape juice did anything for it. Again, I obviously didn't make it correctly. That's fine. So I'm not knocking it because of that. But overall, it just wasn't my favorite. And again, I'm not a big alcohol person. So for me, it wasn't like I was expecting it to be that great. I didn't think it was going to be good. So we have that one a 3 out of 5. Then we have the corn fritters. That was something. That took a long time to make something that was so mid. Like genuinely. I did not like the corn fritters. I would give those a 2 out of 5. They were not terrible, but just not what I expected. Again, I expected them to be a little bit sweet, maybe like a hush puppy. There was a hush puppy recipe in the book. I just chose not to do that one. I figured that these ones would be a little bit better. Probably a mistake. I should have done that. I would have preferred an onion hush puppy than a corn fritter. But it is what it is. You live and you learn. And then we have our limoncello pound cake that we just finished up with. This one I would give a 4 out of 5. I think that overall it was really good. Again, I just told you my opinions on the frosting, drizzle, icing, whatever you want to call it. That one's not my favorite, but other than that, if you just did a regular or if you enjoy alcohol, I think you might like it a lot better than I did. If you don't put the frosting directly on your tongue, it's not that bad. It mixes evenly and it's pretty good. So the limoncello cake for me gets a 4 out of 5. That one is my favorite so far. And the only one that I think that I actually might make again. I say might make again. I would be open to making it again. So that's it. Those are all the recipes that I got. To answer the question, are book recipes worth making? Are they good? I would say overall, probably not. From the ones that I got, again, these are not cookbooks. These were just regular fiction books that I read that happen to have recipes in them. I don't really think that it was that great. I don't think that it was anything that you would want to go to the store and purchase these ingredients specifically to make. I don't think I would want to spend $20 on another bottle of limoncello to make this pound cake. So I don't really think that it's worth it. I don't think that it was that great. I don't think that the recipes that we got were top notch. I don't think that, you know, it was anything that I loved and I would want to do again. I think next time I would rather just make something totally different. Personally, I think that that would be a lot more enjoyable, but I did it. I'm not mad that I did it. I learned something new. I learned that I was okay to actually get rid of those books. The recipes in the back did not make it worth keeping at all. So yeah, those are the recipes that I tried. That's what we got. Sorry you can't taste it with me. I think that would have been so fun, but you probably are not missing anything. But thank you so much for spending the entire day with me. It's literally dark outside right now, as you can see. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thanks for helping me make all these dishes. I had a really good time. Hopefully you did too. Hopefully we did something a little bit different to shake up the book community a little bit, getting the book talkers into the kitchen. That's what we need. But as always, I so greatly appreciate you for being here. Thank you so much for hanging out, and I hopefully will get to see you in the next one tomorrow. See ya.